Hello CUET aspirants, this is Smriti ma'am here with the analysis of the English section of your paper. The paper can be described as moderate to slightly difficult because considering the time limit that you were given for these questions, there were 25 questions from reading comprehension. So if you've attended previous classes, then we did a lot of reading comprehensions, and I hope that has helped you when you have given your paper. 25 questions were there straight from reading comprehensions. We had 4 passages, right? Roughly 5 questions from each passage, and more than that in some passages. So 25 was the total number of questions that were asked from your reading comprehension section. Grammar was also asked, but it was not too much. Like, even if a child left all the questions of grammar, then also he or she could get full marks in this particular section. Then vocabulary based questions were asked a lot. Also, para-jumbles were asked a lot, all of which we had covered in our previous classes, and some words like psychophancy, etc., were straight away from our classes. So I'm really happy that for me as a teacher, the CUET English section was really, really good. And I hope that you all have all done very well in your exam. Let us now start with the analysis of the English section. All right, so here I have behind me this passage, and the paper that I have got, it has 4 passages together, and let us now read and analyze these passages before moving ahead. So I'm sure the passages were very simple and you would not have had a problem with the analysis of the passages, because the passages, they were very easy in terms of the content. Some of them were confusing, like the one with coffee arabica, etc. That passage was a little confusing, but you could have made a choice also, right? You had to do 40 questions out of 50. So ऐसा नहीं था कि आपको सारे ही passages attempt करने थे. Anyway, let's now just analyze the passage. So when I was in my late teens and still undecided about what language I should write in, he told me that the language one is born into, one's mother tongue, can be the only possible medium of creative expression. Now, for most of his life, my father, Shripat Rai, had been a Hindu editor and critic off and on. Yani, kabhi haan, kabhi na. He translated writings into English from Hindi. He was fond of saying that a failed writer becomes a critic. The weight of his literary expectation. Now, here is an important thing. The weight of his literary expectation, right? And here a failed writer becomes a critic. The weight of his literary expectation eventually came to rest on me. He seemed happy that I was showing an inclination or a tendency for writing. She will go far. This is the second question. She will go far, he told my mother after reading the first story that I had sent him from Melbourne. So my father's pronouncement on the mother tongue stayed with me when I later started writing fiction in Hindi. Another thing that I barely acknowledged or accepted, even to myself, was that I felt something like shame whenever I thought of writing in English. It seemed wrong for a granddaughter of Premchand even to be thinking so. Our family had a certain linguistic pride. Linguistic matlab related to language. So since she is the granddaughter of Premchand, so she felt ashamed of even at the thought of writing in English. So our family had a certain linguistic related to language, a kind of pride, a kind of arrogance. I knew that Premchand was famous, but I had not at that time realized the extent of his popularity. Now his here is Munshi Premchand. So the fact that I was a granddaughter of Premchand followed me everywhere. Everyone had a story to tell about the personal engagement with his fiction, the shopkeeper, the long-time cook. I mean, everybody used to tell her that I had met your grandfather, etc. The list was long, for there was practically no one who had not read something by him that had moved them. However, it was this very ubiquity. Ubiquity means the presence of something which is everywhere, omnipresent kind of a thing, something which is very prevalent. P-R-E-A-V, P-R-V, I'll just write it, P-R-E-V-A-L-E-N-T, prevalent. Something which is found everywhere. So like mango production is ubiquitous in Uttar Pradesh. The reverence means respect and love that he inspired in people, that made of him something too large for me to comprehend. Too large in the sense of his personality. So like if everybody is talking about you, and mammoth, Premchand was a mammoth in the field of Hindi literature. So I'm not just going to share with you answers which I'm sure you must have ticked in your sheet, but I'm also explaining answers, all right? To comprehend the early years of my life, it led to also the strange feeling that without having read him and just by being related to him, I had somehow inhaled his writing. The reading happened much later. Now, what is the author trying to say? That she had the weight of her dynasty, her lineage, Lineage, and that was too much for her. So even before she had read her grandfather's works, she had inhaled his writing, which means that she had subconsciously imbibed all the kind of things about her grandfather. Now let's have a quick look at the questions. The author grew up with the expectation that she would take up dash, that she would take up what? That is the question in front of us. Now, since I've already read the passage, so things become really easy for us. The correct answer is the job of a critic. So the author grew up with the expectation that she would take up the job of a critic, and this is because it's just written after the fact that her father had this expectation that a failed writer becomes a critic. Editorship of a magazine, it cannot be. Translation of literary pieces, it cannot be. The only option that could confuse you is creative writing. But here they have clearly asked, grew up with the expectation, and the expectation is similar to what her father expected. Therefore, I'm giving you the answer as D. Give yourself +5 if you have ticked D. When her father said she will go far, he meant that she will travel widely. No, whenever we say that she will go far or he will go far, we mean in terms of achievement and success. So she will achieve great heights in life, that's right. She will go too far, no. None of them. So +5 if you have ticked option B for this one. So it's easier when we have read the passage, so we can just breeze through the questions. Now choose a statement which is not true with respect to the passage. So something which is not true with respect to the passage. This is the original paper, and that's why we probably it's a little blurred. The author felt pressurized to write in Hindi because of her father. She felt obligated to carry on the legacy of Premchand. Now this is something which is true. She was obligated to carry on the legacy. Her family was chauvinistic about the English language. This is something which is absolutely not correct. Chauvinism means arrogance. Chauvinism means taking a pride. So the family was not arrogant about the English language. It took pride uh, with respect to the Hindi language, not English. So that would be 3. So give yourself +5 if you have ticked C. Premchand became too large for her to understand, mainly because of what? So we have question 4 here, and the question for the correct answer is 2. Too large for her to comprehend, mainly because his ability to connect with people from all walks of life, is that it? Or the fact that she feared him, the kind of love and reverence that he inspired in people, her constant anxiety of failing him. So here the answers are these ones, A and D, B, C, A, C, C, D. So you should have looked at the entire question and the pairing also. So like I said, the correct answer is 2, because A and C both are correct. The kind of love and respect that he inspired in people, and his ability to connect with people from all walks of life. So the correct pairing is of A and C. So that gave her a kind of stress that will she be able to live up to the expectation that her grandfather has created all through his life. So like I said, there were 25 questions of reading comprehension. So we see in the first paragraph itself, we have 6 questions of reading comprehension. So I'm sure, and my sympathies with you, because it would have been a very long paper had I also been sitting in the examination hall. It's a long paper. Choose the correct option from the following. Yeah. So the question was, inhaled his writing refers to what? Now choose the correct option from the following. Imbibing his style subconsciously, being compelled to write like him, being influenced by what people said about him, her father's expectation from her. So here the correct answer will be option 1. That is right. Imbibing his style subconsciously. And while I was reading the passage, I even explained why inhaling is related to subconscious understanding of his works. So that's option 1. Choose the correct meaning of the word ubiquity as it appears in the passage. So ubiquity would definitely be omni. Omni means all or everywhere. Present everywhere. And something similar to ubiquitous is prevalent, which I have already told you. Something which is present everywhere. Someone who knows everything is called as omniscient. Somebody who knows everything. So omnipresent, omniscient, and omnipotent. Omnipotent is somebody who is all powerful. So these three adjectives are used for God: omnipresent, omniscient, and omnipotent. That ends your first passage, and here we come to a passage which is philosophical in nature. This is a passage on free will. So let us try and understand this passage on free will. So we have a conditioned, okay, it starts from here. Free will is the ability to decide and act free from any influence of past events or environment. It means complete freedom to make any choice absolutely. We clearly don't have free will. Our decisions and actions are never divorced from our past. So basically what the author is trying to talk about is the condition of free will. And he says that it is next to impossible, it is nearly impossible for us to operate under free will. So we have a conditioned mind. Our memories, past impressions and experiences, bias, that is things that we have gone through, shape our thoughts and actions in the present. It is our karmic imprint, not just what we are born with, but also what we collect or accumulate while living. We can consider it as the result of a genetic code, upbringing, and environment. It is our backstory. So basically, the author is saying that you cannot take decisions based on free will. Why? Because our decisions are based on whatever has happened with us, our prior experiences, our biases. For example, if we have the bias that girls can't drive, so then we will judge people accordingly, and that will lead to further karmic imprinting. So then he says it is a backstory. We are never divorced from our past. That is what he's saying. The only way to experience free will is to get rid of all such conditioning, to neutralize our karmic imprint, to be independent of our psychological coding. That's possible only if we can purify our mind by letting go of all our ego attachments, fixed beliefs. Then we can reside in the truth of our being. So once you are free of all conditioning, once you are free of all the preconceived notions, beliefs, and concepts, then you are under the prerogative of free will. Okay, then we have the above is an exacting definition of free will. What we commonly mean by free will is that we have a choice in most situations, like who you choose to marry, what profession you pursue, and how you react to someone's aggression. For example, somebody does something wrong with you, how are you going to react to it? Are you going to let it ruin your entire day, or you're just going to let it go? So that's what he's saying. Sounds reasonable, but here's the catch. Our ability to make that choice too is significantly restricted, dictated by our predispositions. Now, what are predispositions? These are also preconceived notions or beliefs, right? And they govern how we live. They all govern our reactions. Suppose you've had a very traumatic upbringing. Now it is in your almost genetic code that you will not be able to trust people so easily because you've had a very bad exposure, or you've had a very bad experience with a different set of human beings. So this is who we are. This is what we become when we live our life according to karmic imprint or preconceived notions. And the author is advocating against that, that don't live your life governed by preconceived notions. So this applies even to our ability to bring about change within ourselves. And then he says that we are actually not even free to bring about free will in our life. We are not even that free. Even that is controlled by genetic coding. So if you are a very strong-willed person, you are going to have a difficult time giving up your belief system, giving up your preconceived notions, because then you start questioning who are we if we are not a set of cultural traditional beliefs, right? So this applies to even to our ability to bring about change within ourselves. Despite a strong resolve or determination to be calmer, kinder, less anxious, our ability to manifest or bring about that change depends partly on our emotional and mental wiring. That's why some people succeed in such efforts more than the others. If you wish to expand the scope of your agency, agency means here control. So if you wish to expand the scope or of your control, explore ways to engage in sustained inner work, deepen your self-awareness, examine and reform your conditioned beliefs. But then I wonder if your inclination to embark or go on that journey too depends on your current karmic coding. So all in all, the author is saying that the concept of free will is very interesting, but the ability of humans to follow free will and to be able to exercise that free will is another thing which is dependent on karmic coding. So you are not free at all, basically. That's what the author wants to say. Even if you think you are free, you are only as free as your mental and constitutional makeup permits you to be. Beyond that, you are not free. Let's have a look at the questions. A very interesting passage, and something which CUET has done this year is that the quality of passage has really gone up. Earlier, they used to ask passages which were extremely easy, but here, this year, we've noticed a change. There has been a serious upgrade in the kind of passages and the content of passages which is being asked. So these kinds of philosophical passages were not the prerogative of CUET earlier, but they are now. So we need to really buck up if we need to give CUET next year too. So the author argues that humans don't have free will because fill in the blank with the correct option to complete the sentence. Our decisions are shaped by past events and environmental influences. We are born with predetermined choices that we are forced to make. Now, this is a little more extreme, so I would right now go with 1, right? Because this has been mentioned that all our decisions are actually determined by past events and environmental influences. We are always dictated by our mind to make irrational choices. Irrational means bina soche samjhe, impractical. Okay, so again, this is a little extreme regarding the content of the passage. Then human beings are born slaves of social constructs and expectations. No, they are not born slaves. It's just that we are predetermined by our karmic pattern to behave like that. So yeah, the correct answer should be option 1. So if you've ticked option 1, give yourself a +5. Karmic imprint referred to in the passage implies what? You have to take the correct option. The ability to bring about change in oneself, our genetic code, upbringing, and environment, the truth of our being, our individuality. See, the truth of your being or your individuality is only going to come to you once you are free of the karmic imprint. So karmic imprint is basically the conditioning, correct? It is the conditioning that we have gone through. So yes, the correct answer is going to be option 2, our genetic code, upbringing, and environment. That is option B. The wrongdoings and vices means sins of our past, are negative. So that is incorrect. Let us now proceed to the next set of questions for the same passage. Questions 9 and 10. Free will can be experienced if. You have to fill the blank with correct option. Free will can be experienced if. Now, if you remember in the passage, the author says that if we free ourselves from previous conditioning, then we can exercise free will. So it should be 3. We let go of our ego attachments and fixed beliefs. We accumulate more and more karmic imprints will lead to reduction of free will instead of increasing it. The author proves that the idea of free will is a myth by suggesting what? The author proves that the idea of free will is basically a misconceived phenomena, something which is not going to occur. Why does he do that, or how do we tick the option here? Let's first have a look at the options. The author proves that the idea of free will is a myth by suggesting that our ability to make a choice is restricted by our predispositions. We are unable to bring a change in ourselves. Our choices are solely guided by the current environment. No. Our choices are completely independent of no. Again, it should be between 1 and 2, and your correct answer here it should be 1. The ability to make a choice is restricted or it is curtailed by our conditioning. So in this passage, the key word was conditioning. तो अगर आपने ये बात पकड़ ली थी थिएटर में, एग्जामिनेशन हॉल में, तो डेफिनेटली आपका आंसर सही होगा. एक चीज बस पकड़नी थी कि फ्री विल का कंडीशनिंग से क्या रिश्ता है, कि फ्री विल अगर बढ़ेगी मतलब कंडीशनिंग घटी है. दैट्स ऑल. आपके सारे क्वेश्चन सॉल्व हो जाएंगे. सो प्लीज कीप एनालाइजिंग योर पेपर ऑल्सो व्हाइल आई एम गिविंग यू द आंसर्स. What have you done and how much are you scoring in the English section? Now, what does the author propose as a means to expand the scope of one's agency? Like I told you, agency here means control. So what can you do in order to increase your agency? Again, let go of the conditioning. That's your answer. Let's see now which option matches the answer. Making choices frequently and impulsively, this is incorrect, because if you make impulsive choices, again, you are working on conditioning. Engaging in sustained inner work and self-awareness, this could be your answer. Holding on to fixed beliefs and stringent mindsets, no. This fixed beliefs and stringent, matlab very strong स्ट्रांगली इनग्रेन्ड। कुछ चीजें होती है ना, जैसे बहुत बड़ा बिलीफ है सोसाइटी में कि नॉनवेज खाना बहुत गंदी बात है, बहुत गंदी बात है। तो अब ये प्री कंसीव्ड नोशन है। आई एम नॉट गेटिंग इनटू द फैक्ट दैट वेदर आई एम एडवोकेटिंग नॉनवेज और नॉट, बट आई एम जस्ट ट्राइंग टू एक्सप्लेन द ऑथर्स पॉइंट कि अगर बच्चे को इसी तरह पाला गया है कि नॉनवेज खराब है, ये है वो है, उसी तरफ दूसरा बच्चा है जिसको बचपन से नॉनवेज खिलाया गया है, ये दोनों ही चीजें कंडीशनिंग, और दोनों ही को जज करना गलत है। इग्नोरिंग वंस पास्ट एक्सपीरियंसेस एंड डिस्पोजिशन, यहाँ आप कंफ्यूज हो सकते थे, शायद आप ये भी आंसर टिक कर सकते थे कि अपनी एजेंसी बढ़ाने के लिए क्या करना चाहिए, लेकिन इग्नोरिंग इज द इनकरेक्ट वर्ड। उसने ये नहीं कहा है कि अपने आपके अंदर जो प्री कंसीव नोशंस है उनको इग्नोर करके आपको डिसीजन लेना है, नहीं, उसने कहा है ये कंडीशनिंग को मिटाइए। ये तभी हो सकता है जब आप ज्यादा सेल्फ अवेयर और कॉन्शियस हो। आप डिफरेंट समझे, तो मुझे लग रहा है कुछ बच्चों ने 4 भी टिक कर दिया होगा इसमें, लेकिन उस केस में आपका आंसर गलत होगा। क्यों, उसका रीजन भी बता रही हूँ मैं। इग्नोर का मतलब होता है नजरअंदाज कर देना। ऑथर ने कहीं नहीं बोला है कि अपने प्री कंसीव नोशंस को नजरअंदाज कर दीजिए, नहीं, उसने कहा है कि अपने ऊपर काम करिए, ज्यादा अवेयर बनेंगे तो अपने आप ये सब छूट जाएगा। छोड़ देने में, छूट जाने में थोड़ा अंतर है, ठीक है। तो छोड़ देना में क्या होता है, आपने कॉन्शियसली छोड़ दिया, जैसे सीयूईटी में आप पेपर कर रहे थे सडनली टाइम खत्म हुआ, पेपर छूट गया अपने आप। लेकिन छोड़ा उस बच्चे ने है जब आप चॉइस कर रहे थे, जब आपके पास 50 क्वेश्चंस थे और आपने देखा कि अच्छा मैं 39 क्वेश्चन नहीं करूंगी, 37 कर लूंगी, 38 कर लूंगी, फिर 40 करूंगी, फिर 41 नहीं करूंगी, ये आपने छोड़ा है, दिस इज अ कॉन्शियस डिसीजन। लेकिन मान लीजिए बच्चा 1 to 20th क्वेश्चन तक पर ही आया और टाइम खत्म हो गया, इन दैट केस पेपर अपने आप छूट गया। तो देर इज अ डिफरेंस बिटवीन इग्नोरिंग एंड working on one's inner self and increasing awareness. Now, what do you think should be a suitable title? Now, suitable title is always based on the main idea. I've taught this fact to you many times in class. So, definition of free will, our backstory, key to a successful life. This is something which is beyond the scope of the passage. Do human beings, then another option which is confusing, do human beings really have free will? And making choices every man's prerogative? No. So this does not even talk about free will. तो 4 और 2 तो नहीं है। Definition of free will में definitely आप टिक कर सकते हैं, और दूसरा है do human beings really have free will? Another confusing option, but I would still go with option 1, definition of free will, because उसने साफ साफ लिखा है this is a strict definition of free will. आप एक बार पीछे जाके पैसेज देख लीजिएगा, वहां पे ये लाइन मेंशन्ड है कि ऑथर ने खुद ही लिखा है कि this is the definition of free will, and therefore I'm going with option 1. Otherwise 3 is also confusing and you could have got confused with 3, but 3 would have been the wrong choice. Next paragraph, so a very chocolatey kind of paragraph, and ये चॉकलेट पे था, नेक्स्ट वाला कोको पे था। तो मेरे पास जो एग्जाम शीट है, मैंने पहले ही बोला था, उसमें चारों पैसेजेस शुरुआत में ही दे दिए गए हैं, ठीक है। तो अगर आपके पास भी इसी पैटर्न की शीट आई थी तो आपको थोड़ा डिस्क्रिशन यूज करना चाहिए था, थोड़ा अपना दिमाग लगाना चाहिए था, चारों पैसेज करना मैंडेटरी नहीं था। आप एक पैसेज या 1.5 पैसेज या इस टाइप का भी अटेम्प्ट कर सकते थे। एनीवे, ऑन अ चिली विंटर इवनिंग नथिंग वार्म्स यू अप better than a cup of hot cocoa. Chocolate was first consumed in liquid form by the Olmec people of northwestern Central America around 1500 BCE. It was even enjoyed by the Aztec emperor Montezuma, and the Aztec word for it, Zocolatl, pronounced Xocoatl, evolved into the English word chocolate. But the Aztecs did not serve their cocoa hot, and since sugar had not yet arrived from Europe, back then the drink was often flavored with peppers and spices. Now, it may not have been quite as indulgent. Indulgent means luxurious as today's version, but it was more palatable. Now, palatable here means tasty, khane layak. If you believed, as the Aztecs did, that chocolate was a gift from the gods and had healing properties. Now, after the Spanish arrived in the Americas in the 1500s, liquid chocolate made its way across the pond, where wealthy Europeans added sugar and drank it warm. In Chocolate, History, Culture and Heritage, author Bertram Gordon says hot chocolate became the beverage of the aristocracy, as sugar was still a luxury. Aristocracy here means knights, Knights, knights and the king's attendants, you know, the higher class, the noblemen basically. Yeah, so aristocracy basically means no noblemen or knights. As sugar was still a luxury. Soon enough, though, hot chocolate caught on with the masses, so it became popular. Chocolate houses, which were a cross here means hybrid, which were a hybrid between casinos and cafes, started popping up, started increasing around the 17th century Europe. In these lively places, hot chocolate was poured from gilded pots into elegant cups for a posh, luxurious experience. One can still find it today at the famed Parisian tea room Angelina's, which is also in New York City. But by the end of the 18th century, chocolate houses had mostly died off, partly because the cost of chocolate was much higher than coffee or tea. Taking a tour of international cups of cocoa, Italians serve it like a thick pudding. Colombians serve it with a dollop of soft cheese, while Mexicans punch it up with vanilla, chili powder, and cinnamon, and Filipinos serve it with mango chunks. So these are the different ways in which chocolate has penetrated different cultures and is now being had in different forms. Let us have a look at the questions. It was a very, very easy passage. It was basically made, based on matching. So if you've read the passage and you are able to match it correctly, then all your answers should have been correct. Let's check. Cocoa was first introduced by I just marked this, it is the Olmec people who had introduced cocoa, and therefore you get a +5 by ticking Olmec. The Aztec people made their cocoa palatable by spiking it up with spices. So you cannot make it tasty by thinking of it as a medicine, drinking it as a medicine. No, they thought of it as a medicine and then drank it. It's written there, it was given by, they thought that it was given by God and God's food, but they made it tasty actually by spiking it or adding spices to it. Now, why did hot chocolate become the beverage of the aristocracy? Because only wealthy Europeans could buy it. The essential ingredient was out of reach of the commoners. That is true, but that is not mentioned. The Queen had a marked chocolate maker, not mentioned. It was being consumed by the pharma companies, not mentioned. So actually your answer should be 3. The chocolate house did not survive past the 18th century. Why? Let's have a look at question 16. Why did the chocolate house not survive past the 18th century? Now, if you've read the passage, it was because of finance issues. So let's see. People preferred tea, coffee to hot chocolate. Yes, they did prefer, but why was that? Because it was costly. So it catered to the not so elite of the society. No, but in that case, it shouldn't have been shut off, right? Chocolate was costlier than tea and coffee. That is right. The supply of cocoa dwindled or decreased. That is incorrect. And the correct answer should be 3. Choose the correct statement from the following. Italians served hot chocolate flavored with spices. Mexican served hot chocolate topped with a dollop of cream. No, I think the correct answer should be Colombian served hot chocolate topped with a dollop of cheese. You can check it in the last line. It's absolutely given to you how different races had their chocolate. These Filipinos had with mangoes and somebody had with vanilla. I think the Italians probably had with vanilla and I think Mexicans served it with spices. So you can go check, but Colombians definitely served it with a dollop of cheese. So if you've read the passage with a great deal of awareness, you will not go wrong. Very easy question 18. Choose the correct meaning of the underlined expression in the following sentences. Soon enough, though, hot chocolate caught on with the masses. Now, what do you mean by caught on? It became popular, right? It became popular with the masses. So that is right. Option 2, it became popular with the masses. That is option 2. Clear cut, it's a phrasal verb, caught on, became popular. Last comprehension for your paper. So I'm sure now this one was something which if I were you, I would not have attempted, because in this one, I would have to go back and read the passage a lot of times because the questions are very typical. So one pro tip for you that whenever you are attempting a reading comprehension, you should first have a look at the questions. Are the questions too complicated or they are too confusing in terms of options? Then we should leave this passage. So my recommendation was to leave this passage. You could have even left the free will one and done this passage, because for some students this would have been easy because the answers are direct. So it was your choice completely. Let us now read. Coffee's genetic makeup is not trivial. Trivial means small, inconspicuous. So coffee's genetic makeup is no small concern. 10 million tons of the crop were grown and sold in 2022 to 2023. The coffee that we drink comes from two species, coffee canephora, which is also known as Robusta, and coffee Arabica, which is known as Arabica. Now, in many cases, beans from the two species are blended to make a brew, that is a drink. But the beans of a single species are also roasted and sold. Overall, Arabica beans represent about 50% of the coffee sold. So most genetic variation in living organisms comes from hybridization, that is mixture with other species. However, this is a very relatively rare event for coffee Arabica. That means hybridization does not occur often for coffee Arabica because it has more than 2 copies of each chromosome, which is a phenomenon called as polyploidy. Now, Coffea canephora has 2 copies of each chromosome, but Arabica contains multiple copies. This makes it much more difficult for Arabica to hybridize, that is interbreed with other species. Why? Because Arabica has a lot of different copies of chromosomes, or basically it has polyploidy. Now, as a result, coffee Arabica's main source of single nucleotide variation is mutation. So, hybridization in Arabica occurs because of mutation, which occurs at a steady rate over time. So, even the rate of mutation is fixed. However, the species is also relatively young, having formed as a hybrid of Robusta and Coffea eugenoides, another coffee species that is not widely cultivated within the past 50,000 years. So, Coffea eugenoides is not widely cultivated across the past 50,000 years. From that single plant, which has basically no variation, you can create the whole species, and then the variation is the only normal mutation that have occurred since that event. Despite this, there is substantial variation in the physical characteristics of the Arabica coffee plant, including different flavor profiles, variations in disease resistance, says emeritus geneticist Juan Medrano at the UC Davis Coffee Center at the University of California. We are always talking about low variability at the DNA level. Now, he is addressing the concerns regarding, that's why I said you could have left this passage. In the examination hall, this would have come across as a difficult passage because a lot of you don't have that mutation, polyploidy, etc. background, so could have left that. Anyway, we are always talking about low variability at the DNA level, but there is variability at the structural level, at the chromosome level, at the level of deletions and insertions. So these are the processes that DNA undergoes. There are mutations, deletions, insertions, transfers. All of these are various processes that occur within the DNA. Now let's have a look at the question. I think the passage is clearly understood. Which of the following varieties of coffee is most sold in the world? So there could not be an easier question than this. Clearly it is Arabica. I had even marked it in the paragraph. You can go back and see it in the video. 56% was sold worldwide. So 56 is a big chunk. You cannot have something greater than that. So that is Arabica. Now, which of the following species has more than 2 copies? We were talking about polyploidy here, and polyploidy was seen only in Arabica again. So the answer is A. Now, which of the following statements is true about coffee Arabica? Hybridization is the main source of its genetic variation. It has only got 2 copies of each chromosomes. So it displays the phenomena of polyploidy, and it is easily interbred. No, it is not easily interbred with other species, and it displays the phenomena of polyploidy. So even though the passage was very dry and very monotonous, still the questions were very, very simple. Having a look now at questions 29, 23, 22 and 24. Yeah, so which of the following species of coffee developed only in the last 50,000 years? So clearly Eugenoides was the one which was not developed 50,000 years ago. And here also your answer is Arabica. What a surprise. All the answers almost in this passage are about Arabica, something which has not developed 50,000 years ago. Now, which of the following types of variability is not very high for coffee? Arabica. Which of the following types of variability? So that was the last line I had marked. So he had said that Professor Emeritus had said that variations we've talked about at the chromosomal level, at the level of structure, etc. But these are rare. Which ones? The variability at the DNA level. So the correct answer for this is option 4. So if you've ticked option 4, give yourself a +5. Then we move on to questions 24 and 25. Choose the statement that is factually incorrect from the options given below. It is possible to roast the beans of a single species of coffee. The two species of coffee can be blended to make a brew for sure. Due to its genetic makeup, novel mutations do not occur in the species Coffea arabica. Variations in disease resistance can be seen in the Arabica coffee plant. So, which of the following statements are factually incorrect given the options here? So the correct, due to its genetic makeup, novel mutations do not occur. See, all the other statements are correct. It is only this which is incorrect, because novel mutations is the most common form of hybridization in Coffea arabica. You remember that line? You can go back and read that. The correct answer is option 3 for question 24. Rearrange the following phrases. All right. So finally, we have finished our reading comprehensions at the 24th question, and let us now proceed further with the rearrangement of sentences. So rearrange the following phrases in correct sequence to form a meaningful sentence. Now the most difficult part and the most lengthy part of your paper's discussion is over. We are just left with now very short questions. So if you had completed the 3 passages that you had chosen, or even the 4 passages that you had chosen within 20 minutes or 25 minutes maximum, this section is going to take only I think 10-15 minutes. I'm going to discuss, so it will take longer, but once you're in the examination hall, grammatical questions or vocabulary based questions, they are done in seconds, not even minutes. Okay, so let's have a look at para-jumble. Now I have taught you para-jumble in great detail, and I hope that you had utilized it while doing your answers. The first thing that I tell you in para-jumble is to check which option is going to start. You do not read from here, you start reading with the options. So let's start with A. Created by human. What was created by human? Collective cultural heritage. Communications are our all languages. Can it ever be one? There is so much of disjunct sentences here that it cannot be one. Then we start with B. Collective cultural heritage created by human. Okay. Communications are again incorrect. CADB. All languages created by human. Communities are our collective cultural heritage. That's absolutely right. But let's check D also. DBCA. Communications are our what? Collective cultural heritage. Okay. All languages. Now there is a problem between B and C. So the correct answer is going to be 3. Clearly. See, it's done in a few seconds and you are sure that the answer is right. Then again, the principal addressed us in the assembly and dashed the rumors of an early summer break. And what does a principal, what do you do with rumors? So principal is going to address those rumors. The principal is going to finish off those rumors by telling you the correct thing. So how can you defend the rumors? अफवाहों को defend थोड़ी ना करेगा principal आके. Not at all. Cleared the rumors? No. Although I know you must be tempted to answer cleared, but the actual answer is quashed. That means she suppressed or finished off the rumors. She completely annulled the rumors of a summer break. Rebuke कैसे करेंगे आप rumor को? आप अफवाहों को डांटने थोड़ी ना लगेंगे. Rebuke का मतलब होता है chide, chastise, berate, scold, etc. So like I said, these questions can be solved in a few seconds. And now we have these charts which were very commonly seen in this year's CUET. I think there are 3 questions or more than that regarding these particular charts. Now, if you have a look, these are all phrasal verbs. And I had told you even before your exam that phrasal verbs are very, very essential for anybody who's giving CUET exam. So complete the sentences given in list 1 with the appropriate phrasal verbs in list 2. So here you had to just pick up a phrasal verb which you very easily remember. So one such phrasal verb is give away. Give away matlab free giveaways. Free में देना. ठीक है? That is option 1. Okay? Now let's have a look at the sentence. She was very dash with him for his offensive remarks on women in politics. So obviously she was very sad. ठीक है? I have plenty of interesting books to give away to. आगे आपका यूज, तो अब आपको क्या पता चल गया कि बी की पेयरिंग किसके साथ है, 1 के साथ. अब हमें सिर्फ इतना चेक करना है कि इन ऑप्शंस में बी की पेयरिंग किसके साथ सबसे सही है. 1 में सिर्फ डी हो सकता है. सीधे सीधे आपका आंसर डी है. कुछ और चेक करने की जरूरत नहीं थी. फिर भी अगर आपको डबल चेक करना हो तो चेक कर लीजिए. ए के साथ क्या लगाया है, 3. कटअप. कटअप का मतलब सैड ही होता है. उसके बाद सी के साथ क्या लगाया है, 4. स्ट्रेंज दैट पीपल इजिली गिवन टू. गिवन टू मतलब सरेंडर. And then Rahul is trying to cut down, that is decrease. मैंने बोला था कुछ सेकंड्स के क्वेश्चन है. ठीक है. सो करेक्ट आंसर फॉर क्वेश्चन 27 इज ऑप्शन डी क्लियरली. तो सबसे पहले आप सबसे इजी सेंटेंस पकड़ लीजिए जो आपको पक्का पता है कि ये सही होना ही होना है. उसके बाद ऑप्शंस आपको खुद ही बता देंगे कि आंसर क्या है. नाउ अगेन एडवर्ब्स. I thought that the restaurant would be expensive, but it was obviously reasonably ठीक affordable. It was a serious accident, but the car was, क्योंकि but लगा हुआ है, serious था लेकिन car was hardly damaged. अब बस आपका सॉल्व हो गया. A के साथ 2 है और B के साथ A के साथ 2, B के साथ 4. अब वो खुद ही बता रहे हैं C के साथ 1 और D के साथ 3. बस चेक करना है. C के साथ 1. The meeting was a disaster as it was very badly organized. Meera is gifted. She has the ability to learn any language. D के साथ 3. Quickly. Absolutely right. Clearly your answer is option A +5. ये कंडीशनल सेंटेंसेस पे आ गया. If I were a bird, I would have flown. टेंसेस का ध्यान रखना था आपको इसमें. I did not know that Rahul was in the hospital. यदि मुझे पता होता तो मैं जाकर उसको विजिट कर लेती. ये दोनों क्या है, पास्ट परफेक्ट है. लेट्स हैव अ लुक. इफ आई हैड नोन आई वुड हैव विजिटेड. दैट इज योर आंसर. इफ आई नो आई वुड गो, तो ये गलत हो जाएगा. इफ आई न्यू आई वुड हैव गॉन होना चाहिए था. गॉन होना चाहिए था यहाँ पर. इफ आई हैव नोन आई वुड होना चाहिए था ना. इफ आई वुड हैव नोन है ना. इफ आई वुड हैव नोन आई वुड बी गोइंग, तो सही होता. लेकिन यहाँ पे वुड दिया नहीं हुआ है. तो क्लियरली इफ आई हैड नोन आई वुड हैव विजिटेड हिम. आई होप यू अंडरस्टैंड. लाइक आई सेड you could get full marks in this English section. बस यदि आपने थोड़ा कामली और पेशेंटली किया होता तो फिर हो गया होता. हो ही जाएगा अभी भी. मुझे लगता है कि आप लोग ज्यादा परेशान हो रहे हैं. इतना डिफिकल्ट पेपर था नहीं जितना आपको कॉम्प्रिहेंशन का खौफ हो गया. और उसमें से भी आप 10 क्वेश्चन छोड़ सकते थे. यानी एक कॉम्प्रिहेंशन तो आप क्लियरली फुल फ्लेजेडली छोड़ सकते थे. एनीवे, लेट्स हैव अ लुक एट क्वेश्चन 30. आइडेंटिफाई द ऑप्शन क्लोजेस्ट इन मीनिंग टू द अंडरलाइन वर्ड. मैंने आपको बहुत बार क्लास में भी वार्न किया था कि जो डायरेक्शन आता है क्वेश्चन के साथ, इसको बहुत ध्यान से पढ़िए. 1 नहीं 2 बार पढ़िए. इसमें ये टाइम वेस्ट या टाइम बचाने की कोशिश ना मतलब करिएगा. इसको टाइम वेस्ट मत समझिए डायरेक्शंस को पढ़ना. क्लोजेस्ट यानी सिनोनिम. So the movie star's biography is a glossy, sycophantic is the word, clear-cut, flattering, boot-licking, flattering, obsequious, servile. All these synonyms of sycophancy I had taught you. Basically sycophancy का मतलब होता है चापलूस. ठीक है. Clear cut. Insolent का मतलब होता है बदतमीज. Cowardly डरा हुआ. Domineering डोमिनेट करने वाला है ना, आपके ऊपर ऑटोक्रेटिक बिहेवियर करने वाला, डिक्टेटर की तरह बिहेव करने वाला. सो चूज द करेक्ट एंटोनिम ऑफ द अंडरलाइन वर्ड. ये भी मैंने आपको क्लास में बताया है. कॉम्प्लीमेंट और कॉम्प्लीमेंट. कॉम्प्लीमेंट का मतलब क्या होता है, इसमें तो कॉम्प्लीमेंट है मतलब कि तारीफ. सो द मिनिस्टर अनलीश्ड अ तारीफ अगेंस्ट द न्यूज़पेपर. तो हमें इसका एंटोनिम चुनना है. तो क्या हो जाएगा, नेगेटिव थिंग होना चाहिए. डिनंसिएशन का क्या मतलब हो जाएगा, डेरोगेट, इंसल्ट है ना, डिस्परेज बेइज्जत करना, कंडेम करना. बी लिटिल करना, ये सब मैं आपको वीडियोस में आप चाहे तो प्लीज जाके देख सकते हैं, ये सारे वर्ड्स हो चुके हैं। एंडोर्समेंट का मतलब सपोर्ट, एडवर्टाइज। दीपिका पादुकोण वर्क्स इन द एडवर्टाइजमेंट ऑफ लक्स, सो एडवर्टाइजमेंट, एंडोर्समेंट। रेगुलेशन मतलब कंट्रोल करना, स्पेकुलेशन मतलब डाउट करना। अब आप खुद ही बताइए इसमें क्या आंसर होना चाहिए, ऑब्वियसली ऑप्शन 1। So choose the correct synonym for redoubtable from the options giving below. Choose the correct synonym for redoubtable. Redoubtable का synonym सीधे सीधे है formidable. Formidable का मतलब होता है powerful, जिसको गिराया ना जा सके। फ्लिमजी का मतलब होता है चीप, जिसको बहुत आसानी से आप नुकसान पहुंचा सकते हैं। परप्लेक्सिंग का मतलब क्या होता है, डिस्ट्रेस्ड, परेशान करने वाला। वॉल्यूबल का मतलब होता है ज्यादा बोलने वाला, है ना, स्पीकिंग टू मच, that is voluble. I hope you have done well in all these vocabulary based questions. I hope आपकी मेहनत रंग लाई होगी और आपको एग्जाम मतलब देते हुए ही समझ में आ गया होगा कि चलो यहाँ पे तो हमें +5 मिल ही रहा है। Now choose the correct antonym for sullen from the options. Sullen का मतलब होता है sulk, little angry, खींच आना, फ्रस्ट्रेटेड फील करना। तो अब हमें क्या करना है, एंटोनिम, क्योंकि ये एक नेगेटिव मीनिंग वाला वर्ड है तो हमें एक पॉजिटिव मीनिंग वाला वर्ड चाहिए। मोरोज का मतलब अपने आप में ही होता है डिप्रेस्ड। रेटिसेंट का मतलब क्या होता है, शाय। टिमिड का मतलब अगेन कावर्ड, टिमिड, कावर्ड। एंड जीनियल का मतलब होता है फ्रेंडली। अब बताओ क्या लगाओगे, ऑब्वियसली ऑप्शन 4। सो +5 इफ यू हैव टिक्ड ऑप्शन 4। लाइक आई सेड कि अब आपके क्वेश्चन बहुत जल्दी जल्दी होंगे, बस एक कॉम्प्रिहेंशन देख के डरे ना हो आप, तब कोई दिक्कत नहीं थी। रीअरेंज द फॉलोइंग पार्ट्स इन द करेक्ट सेंटेंस टू मेक इन द करेक्ट सीक्वेंस टू मेक अ मीनिंगफुल सेंटेंस। तो कुछ नहीं करना है, सिर्फ आपको आंसर सामने दिया हुआ है, सिर्फ चेक करना है। अच्छा एक चीज और है, जब ऑप्शन दो दो शुरू होते हैं सी से, तो हाईली लाइकली है आपका आंसर 3 और 4 में होगा। ये थंब रूल होता है, जरूरी नहीं है, लेकिन हाँ ज्यादातर कंपेटिटिव एग्जाम्स में ऐसे ही होता है। चलिए चेक करके देखते हैं। BDAC, कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंट्स ऑफ फ्लेवर आर लर्न, लर्न के बाद फ्रॉम होना चाहिए, या अनलर्न परसेप्शन हो सकता है, बिल्कुल, परसेप्शन ऑफ स्मेल्स। द मेन, अब ये स्मेल्स क्या है, मेन के आगे क्या आएगा, BDA, द मेन आर इन बॉन्ड, हो ही नहीं सकता, कट गया। ACBD, आर इन बॉन्ड, आर से तो सेंटेंस क्या ही शुरू होगा, हटा दीजिए। अब आ गए आप उन्हीं दोनों ऑप्शन में जिसमें आपका आंसर है, एक में CA है एक में CB है। चेक करते हैं। आर रिस्पॉन्सेज टू बेसिक टेस्ट आर इन बॉन्ड, बट आर परसेप्शन ऑफ स्मेल्स द मेन कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंट्स ऑफ फ्लेवर आर लर्न। इससे अच्छा आप बना ही नहीं पाएंगे। +5 सीधे, आपको डी चेक करने की जरूरत ही नहीं थी। समझ गए? तो एक ही लाइन, ये मैंडेटरी पेयर हो गया, CADB, कौन पहले आएगा ये सिर्फ देखना था। CB भी देखना है तो देख लीजिए, रिस्पॉन्सेज टू बेसिक टेस्ट कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंट, टेस्ट भी एज प्लूरल, कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंट्स भी प्लूरल, इम्पॉसिबल। क्लियरली योर आंसर इज 3। Again a chart here, and we have the first word as theocracy, apothecary, megalomania and antiquarian. अब जिनकी vocabulary अच्छी है वो इसे डायरेक्टली कर सकते हैं, जिनकी अच्छी नहीं है उनको मैं तरीका बता देती हूँ। देखिए एंटीक्वेरियन का मतलब होता है कोई चीज जो बहुत पुरानी हो। थियोक्रेसी, कहीं भी कृषि लिखा हो इसका मतलब होता है रूल, थियोक्रेसी मतलब गॉड्स रूल, ठीक है। मेगालोमेनिया, अपने आप को कोई बहुत ही पावरफुल समझे, हायर नो ग्रेटर देन लाइफ काइंड की इमेज पोर्ट्रे करे, मेगालोमेनियक। एंड एपोथेकरी इज अ फार्मासिस्ट, ठीक है, एपोथेकरी इज अ person who is selling medicines etc. तो clearly past क्या हो गया, एंटीक्वेरियन। D2, D2 दोनों ऑप्शन में है तो एक और करना पड़ेगा। मेगालोमेनिया कर लेते हैं, अरे ये कर लो, एपोथेकरी 1 2 सेल्सो, तो C का 1, C का 1 कहाँ है, यहाँ है, खत्म, खत्म। 1 इज योर आंसर, +5। चेक कर लो। A3, गवर्नमेंट बाय डिवाइन गाइडेंस। B4, megalomania, a morbid delusion, an illusion of one's power, importance and godliness. So man thinks that he himself is God. 36, now fill in the blank with the correct option. A small dash between two children ended up as a group fight. A small, okay, a small race between the two children ended up as a group fight. A small contest, a small match. Match तो सही आंसर इसका ऑल्टरकेशन होगा. A small fight, a small discussion, है ना. A small, बेसिकली ऑल्टरकेशन का मतलब होता है विचारों का ना मिलना. अ स्मॉल टिफ, TIFF, in terms of thoughts between two children ended up as a group fight. See, whenever you are ticking anything, अब मुझे लग रहा है कुछ बच्चों ने मैच, कॉन्टेस्ट या रेस कुछ भी लगाया हो. एक बात ध्यान रखिए, इन सेंटेंसेस में जो वर्ड आप चुनते हैं वो सेंटेंस की मीनिंग से कुछ तो भी रिलेट करना चाहिए. और अगर आपको इस क्वेश्चन में कंफ्यूजन था तो फिर आपको अटेम्प्ट ही नहीं करना चाहिए था. Again, I'm telling you, you had a choice of leaving 10 questions. Now rearrange the following phrases in the right sequence to form a meaningful sentence. So we see that अभी तक हमने शायद 3 या 4 पैराजम्बल, ये चौथा पैराजम्बल है, तो इस बार पैराजम्बल काफी आए हैं और मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि इनकी संख्या बढ़ेगी. Rearrange the following phrases in the right sequence to form a meaningful sentence. अब आप यहाँ देखिए, या तो D से शुरू होगा या A से शुरू होगा. सिंपल, क्योंकि कोई और ऑप्शन ही नहीं है. ठीक. सो ACD भी देखते हैं. For 7 hours but was hardly able to decide who the murderer was. She worked on the case for 7 hours. देखिए DA तो मैंडेटरी पेयर है ना. She worked on the case for 7 hours but DA वाला चेक करेंगे. सेकंड, she worked on the case for 7 hours but was hardly able to decide. Again, DA के बाद C definitely, and because of the absence of any motivation. C. Straight away, you don't even need to check the other options. If you want, we can check, but I'm sure कि 2 से ज़्यादा सेंस कुछ बनाएगा नहीं. A मैंने ऑलरेडी चेक कर लिया था. D, C, B, A देख लेते हैं. She worked on the case, able to decide who the murderer was because of the absence of any motivation for 7 hours but was hardly. कोई सेंस है? A, B, C, D सीधे वैसे ही. For 7 hours but was hardly because of the absence of any motivation able to decide who the murderer was. She worked on the case. उल्टा उल्टा है सब. ठीक है. Correct answer for 37 is option 2. Question 38, fill in the blank with the correct option. Now, the candidate assured the interviewers that the dip in her grades, the decrease in her grades during her second semester was an dash, since she had always been a top scorer in the first semester. Now, the candidate assured the interviewers that the dip or decrease in her grades during her second semester was an, क्या होगी? Let's check. Anomaly का मतलब होता है abnormality, something which is not normal. अले का मतलब होता है settle या calm, CALM. Adage का मतलब होता है proverb, saying या maxim. जैसे early to bed, early to rise makes one healthy, wealthy and wise. Abatement का मतलब होता है decrease in intensity. So once the winds abated, then we set sail. एक बार जब हवाओं ने अपना तेजी कम कर दी तब हम सेल पर निकले. ठीक है. तो यहाँ पर सही वर्ड अब आप ही बताइए क्या होगा? अनोमली. दैट इज ऑप्शन 1. मतलब वो ये कन्विंस करना चाह रही है कि मेरे मार्क्स इस बार कम आए हैं लेकिन मैं हमेशा से टॉप करती आ रही हूँ, ये बोलना चाह रही है. ठीक है. एक और चार्ट आ गया है सामने. ये चौथा या 5वां चार्ट है आपके पूरे एग्जाम में. कई बच्चे चार्ट देखकर ही डर जाते हैं कि कैसे करेंगे, लेकिन ये सबसे आसान क्वेश्चंस होते हैं. नाउ फॉर सम टाइम नाउ, अब हमें क्या करना है? सिनोनिम. देखिए उन्होंने बड़े में कैप्स में करके लिखा है ताकि बच्चे गलती ना करें. सो फॉर सम टाइम नाउ वी हैव बीन टॉइंग with the idea of transferring all our business from physical to online sales only. We have been considering. ठीक है. We have been showing with the idea, we have been launch with the idea, we have been careful with the idea of. हाँ, अब कुछ बच्चे careful कर सकते हैं. For some time now we have been careful with the idea ऑफ ट्रांसफर. लेकिन टॉइंग का मतलब अब आप खुद समझिए, टॉय से क्या करते हैं आप? प्लेइंग. यू प्ले विथ टॉयज, राइट? Is there any connection between toying and careful? So what will it be? Considering. You are playing with the idea. We are considering the idea. So that's how this word is used. Now question 40. Select the word opposite in meaning to the underlined word. At first, the workers were agreeable to the proposals of the manager, but later they were reconciled. का opposite, reconcile का मतलब होता है accept, reconcile to, है ना? तो यहाँ पर हमें कोई ऐसा वर्ड चाहिए जो रिजेक्शन दिखा रहा हो. तो अग्रीड तो नहीं हो सकता, कोऑपरेट दोनों पॉजिटिव है. नाउ द चॉइस लाइज बिटवीन रेजिस्टेंट एंड स्ट्रेंज. रेजिस्टेंट का मतलब होता है रिवोल्ट से रिलेटेड, है ना? उस सेंस में जा रहा है, आपको सेंस समझाने के लिए कह रही हूँ. रेजिस्टेंट का मतलब होता है रोकना. मतलब इफ आई एम रेजिस्टिंग योर एफर्ट, मतलब मैं कॉन्शियसली उसको रोक रही हूँ. लेकिन ये वर्ड यहाँ पर सही नहीं होगा. सही वर्ड है estranged. estranged का मतलब क्या होता है कि they were alienated, they felt distanced, alienated or distanced. Estranged also means strain in relationship. Estranged. ठीक है? So that is a much better suited word. So the correct answer that I am giving you for this one 40 is option 2. All right, then you have question 41, which is another chart. So let's have a look. देखिए, अगर आपकी वोकैबुलरी अच्छी है तो फिर ये खेल है, नहीं अच्छी है तो भी ये खेल है, क्योंकि आप इसे लॉजिक से भी सॉल्व कर सकते हैं. कोई एक सेंटेंस इसमें पकड़ लीजिए जिसको आपको श्योर है कि वही वर्ड लगेगा. तो लेट्स चेक. She was able to give a dash explanation in the court for her presence near the crime scene. She was able to give a credible. Credible मतलब वो चीज जिस पे हम ट्रस्ट कर सके. The Rockland Hospital collaborated, okay, joined, collaborated. तो अब क्या हो गया? A का 3, B का 1. A का 3, B का 1. सही आंसर क्या हो गया? ऑप्शन 3. So collaborated. फिर though she has shown only 4% improvement in achieving her target, yet her efforts are creditable, मतलब worthy of appreciation. The doctors give the prognosis by corroborating their diagnosis with several tests. Corroborating का मतलब होता है validating, proving, किसी चीज को मान्यता प्रदान करना. ठीक है? किसी चीज को मान्यता प्रदान करना, किसी चीज को सही समझना, that is validating or corroborating. Prepositions now. Very simple. Most of the guests arrived for the concert by bus. ठीक है? थ्रू बस नहीं होता है. थ्रू बस का मतलब बस के अंदर घुस के निकल के थोड़ी ना पहुंच गए. बस अगर ये है तो थ्रू का मतलब हो गया एक तरफ से घुसे, एक तरफ से निकले और पहुंच गए. थ्रू द बस थोड़ी ना है. फ्रॉम बस आप टिक कर सकते थे, लेकिन फ्रॉम इसके साथ यूज नहीं होता. विद बस का मतलब होता है ये मेहमान आए और अपने हाथ में पकड़ के बस भी ले आए. विद तो नहीं होगा. ठीक है? फ्रॉम बस नहीं होगा. Most of the guests arrived from the concert by bus, via bus, VIA. Now question 43. Okay, choose the word closest in meaning to the underlined word. Now what is the actual meaning of flippant? Flippant का मतलब होता है cheeky. Cheeky समझते हैं? Cheeky, ये मतलब है flippant का. Cheeky, rude, etc. So why did you make that flippant remark about her choice of clothes? Let's have a look at the options. Sarcastic नहीं हो सकता. Sarcastic का मतलब होता है taunt करना, और sarcastic usually funny भी होता है. TAUNT, taunt करना. ठीक है? Casual, indifferent नहीं, disrespectful is right. Casual remark मतलब जस्ट लाइक दैट. इनडिफरेंट मतलब कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ रहा है. तो कोई अगर फर्क नहीं पड़ने वाला रिमार्क था तो इतनी चर्चा ही क्यों होती. तो क्लियर कट आपका आंसर डिसरिस्पेक्टफुल है. चीकी, रूड, इन बिहेवियर, फ्लिपेंट, दैट इज द वर्ड. नाउ सेलेक्ट द वर्ड ऑपोजिट. इसीलिए मैंने आपको कहा था कि एक एक लाइन. कंसील्ड मतलब छिपाया, हिडन, हिड. ओके, so that is absolutely right. I don't even think this needs any explanation. One of the free kind of questions that you could have done. Question 45. The president had to finally had to dash the demands of the public for his resignation. Okay, now this one was a slightly difficult question because you could have got confused between two things. अब देखिए सेंटेंस क्या कह रहा है, द प्रेसिडेंट फाइनली हैड टू, यहाँ क्या लगना चाहिए, एक्सेप्ट द डिमांड्स ऑफ द पब्लिक फॉर हिज रेजिग्नेशन. फाइनली की तो तभी सेंस है ना जब एक्सेप्ट करे अपने ही रेजिग्नेशन की डिमांड. तो इग्नोर कर नहीं सकता, इनिशिएट कर नहीं सकता. अब दो ऑप्शन बच गए हमारे पास, एक्सीड एंड कंडोन. कंडोन का मतलब होता है एक्सेप्ट समथिंग विच इज रॉन्ग. ठीक है, ये पूरा मीनिंग है कंडोन का, वरना लोग केवल एक्सेप्ट बोल के छोड़ देते हैं. तो अगर एक्सेप्ट है तब तो यहाँ आंसर कंडोन होना चाहिए था, लेकिन इस केस में मैं आपको आंसर एक्सीड दे रही हूँ. दैट इज ऑप्शन 3, एक्सीड टू. दैट मीन्स फाइनली एक्सेप्ट. वाई सो? बिकॉज कंडोन का मतलब होता है, पूरा मतलब ये होता है एक्सेप्ट समथिंग विच इज रॉन्ग. इसलिए हम कंडोन नहीं टिक करेंगे, 3 टिक करेंगे, एक्सीड 2. नाउ let's come to question 46. Let's do that. Rearrange the following sentences, rearrange the following parts of a sentence in the correct sequence to form a meaningful sentence. So let's check A, B, D, C. For organizations which provide services to customers on a face-to-face basis, the quality of relationship between customers and employees with whom the deal is very important. मुझे तो लग रहा है फर्स्ट ही है. ठीक है, तो बहुत ही सिंपली अगर आपने फर्स्ट वाला चेक कर लिया, इसके अलावा कुछ टिक हो नहीं सकता है. बाकी सब में इतनी सेंस बनेगी नहीं जितनी फर्स्ट वाले में बन रही है. क्लियर कट पहला ही ऑप्शन आपका चेक करते ही आंसर है. इससे ज्यादा सेंस आप बना ही नहीं सकते. बाकी भी चेक कर लेती हूँ. CABD, एम्प्लॉयज विथ हुम दे डील विथ इज वेरी. कौन दे? एम्प्लॉयज विथ हुम दे को तो डिफाइन करिए. उसके बाद फॉर एम्प्लॉयज विथ हुम दे डील is very important for organizations which provide services to customers on a face to face basis. यहाँ सेंटेंस खत्म हो जाता है, डी लगाने का स्कोप ही नहीं है. BDAC, सर्विसेज टू कस्टमर्स ऑन अ फेस टू फेस बेसिस, द क्वालिटी ऑफ रिलेशनशिप, यहीं पे खत्म हो गया. DACB, द क्वालिटी ऑफ द रिलेशनशिप बिटवीन कस्टमर्स एंड फॉर ऑर्गेनाइजेशन. बिटवीन कस्टमर्स के साथ कुछ और एंटिटी आनी चाहिए थी, तो ये भी नहीं है. सो सही आंसर आपका ए ही है, +5. So rearrange, फिर से एक para jumble. So this time I think there were 6 para jumbles or 5 para jumbles in total, which is a big chunk of your paper. तो पहला I would give reading comprehension, दूसरा para jumble. Rearrange the following parts of a sentence in the correct sequence to form a meaningful sentence. Now again आप देख रहे हैं यहाँ पे सब different options से start हो रहे हैं, तो हमें check ही करना पड़ेगा. DBCA, ethical theory and political philosophy, especially with the injunction to treat equally. जस्टिस नहीं हो सकता. CABD, justice is associated with the notion of equity and equality as a concept fundamental to, especially with the injunction to treat equals equally. बिल्कुल ही मैच नहीं हो रहा है, तो ना 1 है ना 2 है. Let's check 3. BADC, especially with the injunction to treat equals equally as a concept fundamental to. This is also not making sense at all. Let's now check option 4. ADCB, as a concept fundamental to ethical theory and political philosophy. Justice is associated with the notion of equity and equality, especially with the injunction to treat equals equally. So +5 if you have ticked option D. बहुत सिंपल थे आपके पैरा जम्बल्स, और ऑप्शन भी बहुत फार अपार्ट थे, कोई कंफ्यूजन नहीं है. और आखिरी चार्ट इडियम्स के, एक इडियम्स का है, एक प्रेपोजिशंस का है, और फिर हमारे पास फिर से एक रीअरेंजिंग द पार्ट्स ऑफ अ सेंटेंस का क्वेश्चन है. तो बड़ी जल्दी जल्दी अब हम इसको सॉल्व कर लेंगे. आई थिंक मैंने पूरा पेपर काफी डिटेल में इसीलिए डिस्कस किया ताकि आपको तो पता चल ही जाए क्या आंसर सही है क्या नहीं है, और साथ में आगे के लिए जो तैयारी कर रहे हैं बच्चे वो भी ये पेपर सॉल्व करके आराम से इस वीडियो से देख सकते हैं कि वो कहाँ कहाँ गड़बड़ करते हैं. So match the idioms in list 1 with the meanings in list 2. So now let's check. अभी आप देख रहे हैं A3 दो है, तो पहले A3 चेक करते हैं. Blow the gap का मतलब क्या होता है? Divulge a secret. This is right. तो या तो हमारा आंसर 1 है या 4 है, ठीक है. B का 4. At the end of your teether, feel unable to deal with something is your answer for. At the end of your teether मतलब at the end of my capacities. So I'm going with option A. C. Be full of beans मतलब be full of energy. Want to curl up and die. So feel terribly ashamed and embarrassed. So correct answer is option 1. तो पहले क्या देखा जाता था CUET में कि इंडिविजुअल इडियम्स के ऊपर वो क्वेश्चंस देते थे, लेकिन इस बार चेंज कर दिया है, आपको चार्ट फॉर्म में ही इडियम्स पूछ लिए. फर्स्ट इज द आंसर फॉर क्वेश्चन 48. Having a look now at the last two questions for your paper of 2024. Finally, we come to the end of your paper. So have a look at question 49. It's based on prepositions. So the edited version of her article is indistinguishable from her first version. So we have A4. एक ही ऑप्शन है जिसमें A4 है. B1. I just don't feel any affinity or attraction to his prose और with his prose style. दोनों लग सकते हैं. It's too caustic. So आगे चेक करते हैं. Her ideas are not at all that dissimilar. यहाँ पे to better suited है, यहाँ पे with नहीं लग सकता, तो ऊपर वाले में with, नीचे वाले में to. It would be wrong to mistake his diffidence or shyness for his arrogance or coldness. Correct. Clear cut answer is 1. Last question for your discussion. Rearrange the parts in the correct sequences to form a meaningful sentence. देखिए मैंने आपको अभी बोला है कि दो ऑप्शन बी से शुरू हो रहे हैं, तो मेरा ये एक एक्सपीरियंस है कि आंसर या तो बी डी सी ए होना चाहिए या बी ए सी डी सी होना चाहिए. तो पहले चेक करते हैं बी डी सी ए. नाउ B. Cooperative learning is an eclectic and unique teaching method that enhances creativity and provides students with tools for critical thinking. Clear cut your answer is B. It could not be anything else except B. So here we end with the discussion of English. I hope you've enjoyed this, and more than enjoyment, I hope you've realized that CUET is not what it used to be. It's not that exam कि आपने 12th जो है आसानी से किया है, बहुत अच्छे कॉलेज से किया है, इंग्लिश अच्छी आपकी तो हो ही जाएगा. आपको यहाँ पे टाइम मैनेजमेंट, कंफ्यूजन, ऑप्शन में क्लैरिटी, ये सब बहुत ज़रूरी है, और खासकर आरसी बहुत ज़रूरी है. इसलिए अब जब आप तैयारी कर रहे हैं, आपके जूनियर्स तैयारी करें, तो उनसे ज़रूर कहिएगा कि आरसी बहुत अच्छे से लगाएं, वोकैबुलरी पे खास ध्यान दें. एंड आई होप that CUET 2025 brings a lot of happiness and hope for you. Also, CUET 2024 gives you full marks in the English section. Thank you so much for listening.